I see my principal at the bar. Woo! Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are back with another story time. If you haven't watched my last story time, go check it out. I don't know how many I have. I have a couple sit-down videos, but I believe I have one story time. I'm not really sure. But go check it out if you haven't already. Today's topic is embarrassing school story times. I have 3 topics I'm gonna be hitting. So I'm gonna save the best for last, which is gonna be freshman high school. I'm gonna start with kindergarten and work my way up. My first story time is my first kiss in kindergarten. Now, you might be thinking like, oh, you know, everyone has their first kiss in kindergarten, like da-da-da-da. Like, no big deal. This is where the big deal part comes in. I went to a Catholic school where we had nuns and teachers. It didn't work out so well. So this kid and I used to be friends, but we also hated each other at the same time. Like, he'd always bully the crap out of me. Like, I hated him, but like, we were friends. I was weird, I don't know. We were like that all through school or whatever. So we were at the Play-Doh table and it was kind of like a free day. So we were just kind of doing whatever. Me and him were at the Play-Doh table together. I don't know, my whole family remembers this story. It was so embarrassing. They made fun of me for it. Never forget about that. So we're at the Play-Doh table and, you know, we're chilling, just making some Play-Doh, whatever. And I remember he like kissed me. I don't remember exactly detail for detail how it happened, but he just kissed me like a little peck. No big deal, whatever. Well, the nun had saw it and we got taken away from like the play day or whatever. We had to go sit inside of the classroom. We couldn't talk, we couldn't do anything. We got this whole lecture from the nun. The teacher ended up coming in. It was just so embarrassing. Like, I just didn't know what was going on. I really did not know what happened. I just was kind of like chilling, not thinking anything of it. Then they called our parents. I don't know what my parents were thinking. Like, if you have a little kid in kindergarten, you get a call like, oh yeah, your son or your daughter just had their first kiss. I would laugh, honestly. I don't think I'd be mad at all. And that's exactly how my mom was. I don't know, she didn't, like I said, we were in kindergarten. So they got called in, we had to apologize. We had to talk in front of our parents. It was a weird encounter. Yeah, I'm never gonna forget that. Also in kindergarten. This happened after the incident with the kid, whatever, we had our first kiss. Me and this girl were at nap time and we always lay next to each other, and you know how you guys had like the tri-folded up plastic mats that you'd sleep on for nap time? So we had those with a blanket and me and her couldn't sleep. She's like, let's see how strong we are. And I was like, okay, what do we do? Like, trying to whisper, be quiet. She was like, let's see if we can rip each other's mat. And I was like, okay, not thinking I could rip her mat. So she like tried to rip mine like a little bit and she couldn't do it. So I was like, oh, like it seems hard. I'll try to do more. So I ripped hers and I ended up ripping her whole thing in half. And again, I got in trouble. Had to get her a new mat. No, I had to give her my mat and I had to take the broken one. Also got a lecture from that. My mom was really upset at me for that. Kindergarten was just not my year. I grew up after kindergarten, then I was like, no, we're done. Fast forward to 2nd grade, still the same Catholic school, still the same guy that I had my first kindergarten kiss with. Not even first kiss, like didn't even count, but same kid. Like I told you guys before, it was like we hated each other, but we liked each other. Weird relationship, right? He had tripped me going into class that day. And I was so mad. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get this kid back. I'm gonna wait till after class. I had a plan. I meant to like trick him into like fake kicking him. Or just like, I was just kind of like, I don't know what I was trying to do. I was just trying to like fake kick him, like fake him out, whatever. Well, I ended up doing that and he moved and my shoe head came off and I hit my teacher in the head. And I got in trouble, but I don't think she ever told my parents that. She was like, even if you were trying to get him back, like you don't do that, da 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 da. blah, blah, blah. So those were some funny little random stories. Now, let's get into the juicy high school story. This one is some tea. So me and my friend, freshman, I wanna say it was freshman year, maybe sophomore year. Freshman, sophomore year, whatever. We were gonna go sleep at my cousin's house. She was engaged at the time. She had a wedding planned. The wedding got canceled or called off or whatever. But at the time, she was engaged and we went over there to have a sleepover to wedding plan, to make some DIY things for her wedding, just to have a fun girls' night. No big deal. We're just chilling, right? As we thought. So we ended up going to a bar. Now this might sound so bad. So her fiance at the time owned this bar, club, lounge thing downtown, and she was like, let's just go say hi, let's just go socialize, like da da. And me and my friend were like, oh yeah, like sure, let's go. Not really knowing, not thinking, just kind of going with the flow. You know, she's my cousin. So we go, and me and my friend are like on the dance floor. We're dancing. We're having so much fun. We're like, oh my gosh, like we're in a bar. We're in like a little thing, like da da da. Dancing and chilling, having a grand old time. My cousin's doing her thing. She's socializing. Me and my friend are just having our own little time. Then I see my principal. Okay. I see my principal at the bar. I run to my cousin. I whispered in her ear, that is my principal. We have to go. Like, I'm gonna be in so much trouble. I can't get in trouble. She's like, okay. Like, just wait, hold on. He's facing away, so he's facing the bar and we're sneaking out behind him. We're like, okay, there's no way that he's gonna see us. Like, we're just gonna sneak out. We're just gonna run to the car and we will be fine, right? So we sneak out and I don't see him in the bar. Like, I'm thinking that he's in the bathroom or something because we had just seen him, but he disappeared. So we're like, okay, like whatever, we're fine. So we're waiting outside. My cousin's going to pull up her car for us. Like me and my friend are just chilling, right? All of a sudden, I feel a tap on my shoulder. And he was like, hi, Hannah. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna be in so much trouble. So I was like, hey, like good to see you. And he was like, yeah, what are you doing here? My mind is going everywhere. I'm like, what am I gonna say? What do I tell him? He's seeing me, 15 years old, at a bar with my friend by myself. Like, mind you, he doesn't see my cousin with us. He just sees me and my other 15-year-old friend, right? So we're talking and he was like, what are you doing here? This is where it gets good. We originally went to my cousin's house to wedding plan, but we ended up changing plans and going out. So I told him, I was like, hey, me and my friend went over to help plan my cousin's wedding, but she had locked herself out of her house. We had no spare key. Her fiance is actually the owner of this bar lounge area, so we had to come and get the key, and we were just socializing for a while. And he was like looking at me, and he was just like, yeah? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, okay. And he was like, we don't speak of this. He's like, this stays here. We don't mention it. This doesn't go anywhere. He's like, be safe and have a good night. So I'm sitting here like, that was a great plan. Literally, I came up with that on the spot. I was like, that's so good. Like, basically that's what had happened, but we didn't get locked out of the house. But it made sense and he fell for it. What I thought, okay? My cousin came, backed me up, like da-da, so we left. And then we go home, we're chilling. And then Monday comes and I totally thought that we forgot about it, that we weren't gonna mention it anymore, that scenario or that incident, whatever you wanna call it, stayed in the past. We had our interaction, our encounter, that's in the past. That's what I thought. I get a call in my first period class from my principal to come down to the office. My heart is racing. I'm texting my cousin. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get in so much trouble. Like, da 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 da. Mind you, my mom knew where I was, okay? I've always been super close with my mom. Every time I go out, every time I do something, I always tell my mom. I make sure she knows where I am and I make sure she knows that I'm safe. Mind you, I was also with family at the time too, so I was around good people, good and safe people. So I'm texting my mom and I'm texting my cousin. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get expelled. They're gonna call the cops, like I'm gonna get arrested. I don't know what I was thinking. We were not drinking. There was nothing of that going on. It was the fact that I was underage inside of a bar that kind of just like made me think that I could get arrested for that. I don't know. I was just young. I didn't know. I was so scared. So my cousin's like, you know what? We'll figure this out. Like, you'll be fine. Let me know how it goes. Of course, I'm sitting in the principal's office waiting to talk to him for like 10 minutes, sweating my butt off. I'm like, oh my God, what is gonna happen? So he finally calls me in and he re-asks why I was there, and I told him the same exact story, exactly how I said it. And he was just very confused on why I was there. And I was like, my mother knew where I was with family, like I was safe. Nobody was drinking, not even my cousin. It was just, literally we were there to just I don't know, chill, socialize. My cousin was talking to people, me and my friend were just dancing. It was fun, like it was a vibe. And we just kind of kept talking about it, and it was just really weird. And he was like, if I ever see you out ever again, I'm gonna have to call your parents, or I'm gonna have to let somebody know. And I was sitting in the back of my head like, my mom knows. But I was still freaking out because I was like, I don't know if he was thinking something different. Like, I knew what I was doing. He probably was like, oh yeah, she's lying to me. Like, she was, you know. I was just freaking out because I've never gotten called down to the principal's office before. And I think that incident looked way worse than what it actually was. And I guess coming from like a principal perspective, you see a 15-year-old at a bar, you're kind of assuming like, okay, come on now, I'm not stupid. I've lived life, you know what I mean? But I legitimately was not. So I was even more scared that he thought I was lying. I mean, I kind of was lying. I don't know, it's not good to lie, don't lie. But I got out of the situation, everything was fine, and he gave me a hug. He was a really nice guy. He was also my principal in middle school as well, so he had kind of watched me grow up. We were really close. He was somebody that I could talk to about anything, so it was really nice to be able to have somebody that I trusted come to me about it rather than like some random principal I didn't know. So that was a plus about it. I felt really comfortable with him. Basically, those are my embarrassing school stories. Comment down below what one was your favorite one. I already know my favorite one. It was a high school bar thing. I don't even know what to call it, but it was just so funny and it was so random and so embarrassing, and I will never forget that. Nobody really knows that story, so there you have it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below if you guys want more story times, and give me like a topic or a time period that you think would be, I don't know, just let me know if you want more story times, and hope you have a good day.